Studying for an upcoming exam or organizing your thoughts for an assignment due around the corner can be daunting. It's easy to put off simply because you don't know where to start. Today, we're going to learn how to make a study guide to help with this. They are intended to light the way and pilot you through the material in a smooth, coordinated manner. Whether you are looking to combine notes, condense information, or organize it in a manner that makes sense to you, there is a study guide that suits your needs. These are extremely helpful tools that can help to guide you through the coursework. They will help you plan your study sessions and rotate activities. Doing this will ensure that you have a solid understanding of all the class material. As we travel through the semester, we receive information from many sources. We have notes from our lectures, notes from our textbooks, and some classes even have labs or tutorials. This assumes that you have never had to step outside the box and clarify a concept or do further research on your own. When we study for an exam, we need to sift through all of this paperwork and decide what's relevant. What is it that I really need to sit down and hammer in? And most importantly, do I understand it? These study guides will help you compress and master the details you need to know while linking related concepts. Organizing and color coding these relationships will make the material much easier to understand. It may be obvious how a layout like this would help visual learners. Still, repetitive learners will also benefit from reviewing the notes needed to make these guides and adding further details to interconnected concepts. This walkthrough will help you to create a stress-free study guide. To make this as easy as possible, you can also download my free study guide template and follow along. This workbook will lead you through the heavy lifting to make a study guide that really works for you. There is a link in the description. It's free. You can grab it and follow along. A study guide is a plan that outlines your revision strategy to tackle your coursework. You can make one as a general study strategy to cover the course material or to help you to get ready for a test. A study guide will outline the following: what you need, how you're planning on studying it, the time frame in which to prepare for the exam, how often you will study, how long each study session will be, what concepts you will cover, how will you study the material each time you sit down, and several different study activities that you can cycle through. Study guides for exams should focus on active recall exercises. These test your ability to recall and communicate specific information. It's not enough to know the concept or even be able to recognize it. You have to be able to explain and elaborate on your answers precisely. There are tons of different study guides. Each has strengths and weaknesses. Different guides are good for various subjects, topics, or even assignments. Finding and employing one that fits your needs will reduce stress and get those juices flowing to lubricate your path to an A. Making a study guide that works for you might take some trial and error, so it's best to start experimenting with different study activities and finding which ones you enjoy. Once you have several that you can cycle through, compile a structured plan to guide your study strategy. This is the most basic and often the guide to organize other more in-depth guides. In general, your syllabus should outline the course material. It should also include information about each of your tests and exams. Reading through it early and collecting the necessary information will give you a head start. First, start by referencing your syllabus and see the topics you have covered or will be on the test. Next, check if anything is coming up that will also be on the exam. Make a simple list of each concept you need to study. Go through your notes and textbook and break down these entries into the smallest possible parts. Don't worry if it gets messy. Once you have your complete list, add it to the left-hand column of the blank activity tracker in the study guide template. This will help you to track what exercises you have completed during your study sessions. You'll probably need several copies of this page to create your study guide, depending on how detailed your list of topics is. That's okay. The more in-depth and detailed your list, the easier it will be to track your progress. The next thing you want to do is decide how to study each concept. We will list these activities at the top of the page. These can be as simple as reviewing notes. However, I would suggest using some of the exercises that are more active and engaging. Let's discuss some of your options. These are great places to start testing your knowledge on a subject. Doing a periodic brain dump can help to see where you need to continue studying this concept without prompting. It's really simple. All you have to do is take a blank piece of paper and write down the topic, thesis, subject, or whatever it is that you are trying to study right in the center. Next, write down everything that you can think is relevant in the surrounding space. Insert any elaborations, examples, or related topics that might come to mind. Diagrams or doodles that can easily explain a difficult example are a welcome addition. Next, pick out key elements and ideas and circle them. You can color code the circle in a way that makes sense to you if you need. Add any kind of style elements if they require further differentiation. Finally, add lines to link specific details and examples to their related concepts. If needed, insert notes that elaborate on specifics of these relationships. This exercise employs free association to release information you already have stored in your memory. This is a great way to see what you already know without relying on prompts from your notes or textbook. Once you have completed this exercise, you should refer to your notes and correct any details you may have added inaccurately. You can also add more specifics that you might have missed or not elaborated on fully. If this technique might work for you, add it to your list of activities. It might be a good idea to add it a couple of times, but space it out across the tracker so that you can continue to check your progress. Mind maps and brainstorms also flow seamlessly into our next example. Concept maps are superficially very similar to mind maps. You can also treat brainstorming sessions as a rough draft for a concept map. However, for our purposes, they do differ in one key motivation: intention. While mind maps use free association to test and elaborate on what you already know, concept maps and branching diagrams can organize concepts you want to learn. We can use them to categorize and identify gaps in your knowledge. To start out, simply add the subject matter to the top of a blank piece of paper. Next, refer to your mind map or your brain dump or even your notes and add necessary details. From here, we can branch from each critical point to the details or examples that are most relevant and then further expand on those as necessary. The idea is to work from the most general topic to the most specific ones. Since you're starting with a brainstorm as a rough draft, this is your opportunity to rearrange concepts in a more organized way than free association models allow. Finally, you can add relationships with colored lines or add diagrams to any concepts that might benefit. It may also be helpful to add stylized lines that point out specific differences between concepts. Once you have organized your brain dump in a much more structured concept map or flowchart, in this format, finding any gaps in the theory will be much easier. These can then be filled in. As you continue to study and learn more about the concept, update this chart. Rather than creating a new one, you can simply insert additional details into the existing concept map. This can be a helpful overview or summary page for any topic. Add this exercise as well to your activities list after the first mind map. Remember to set time aside throughout your study sessions to quickly review and update it. Still, you should not have to recreate these too often. These charts are a great way to organize similarities and differences between related concepts. They can quickly illustrate everything they have in common and where they might differ. This exercise may not be relevant for every topic. However, trying to create one can still be helpful. Here, we start with a list of concepts under question. Next, we add columns for all of the details of interest. In each of the corresponding boxes, you can elaborate on specific traits. These charts are a great way to visually illustrate differences and similarity between related concepts. It also has you thinking critically about how two ideas are distinguished. This activity's usefulness will differ depending on the discipline that you're studying. If it might be helpful, add it anywhere you'd like in the sequence of study activities. Diagrams are second to none when remembering cycles, systems, sequences, and any other dynamic event. They are also a fantastic way to lay out and identify landmarks in subjects that require an understanding of spatial arrangements. While there are always great diagrams with a quick Google search, these are nowhere near as helpful as it would be if you draw or doodle them yourself. Even for those who are not artistically inclined, drawing your own diagram will focus your attention on the details under study rather than just trying to ram more information into your head. Don't forget to label your diagrams. The more detailed and elaborate the diagram you make, the better your recall will be later. This pertains to both elaborating on the drawing effect and elaborating on the addition of details, comments, and even landmarks. If this task is helpful to you, add it to your activity tracker. You will learn much more effectively by including various activities in your study sessions. Drawing diagrams can be a nice break from an intensive reading session while still focusing your efforts on learning fine details. Timelines are the best way to organize information chronologically. For visual learners, these are vital. They will help you see the flow of time and the sequence of events. These details are often easily confused. Creating a timeline is great for organizing historical information, sequential procedures, and even scientific developments. Details such as these are often explained for context when introducing new theories. This is an activity that is generally only done once. If you think getting clear on a series of events will be helpful, add this to your study tasks. Practice problems are designed to help you interpret, analyze, and generalize the information. While this is one of the most basic study activities, it is often overlooked. Most students have an all or nothing view of practice problems. They don't have time to tackle them all, so they just avoid them. Instead, students often just read their textbooks and copy notes down. While reading your textbook and pulling notes is critical, it will not teach you to work with the information. Practice problems are specifically designed for you to think critically about how concepts work together. They will also force you to generalize the data, which is vital for test time. Instead of looking at a practice problem and finding time to do them, approach this backwards. Set aside time in your schedule and select the issue that will fit that time frame. Committing 1 hour of practice problems is much easier than completing a full chapter review of 80 questions. Sample tests or old exams. Our way is the old way. Doing sample tests with or without your notebook open is one of the most tried and true ways to study for an exam. This is always suggested by professors, with some even supplying past exams or sample questions for the class. I cannot stress enough how important it is to at least try some of the questions on these exams. Not only will it let you test your knowledge, but it will also give you an idea of the style of question you might be asked. Knowing what lies ahead will help you to avoid anxiety on test day. Because doing sample tests is such a given, I want to use this time to focus on something slightly less obvious. Make your own sample test. While reading through your notes, stop after each page and consider how the professor might test you on the given information. As you read, on a separate sheet of paper, write down the questions as if you were the one writing the exam. Add a few different ways the question could be posed. In the study guide workbook, there is a practice quiz template. Add the answer in the field and then list several different ways the question could be asked next to it. Mix these questions and make a bunch of different practice quizzes to complete during your study sessions. Don't forget to add a variety of question types like multiple choice, short answer, fill in the blank, long answer, essay questions, diagrams or chart questions, and processes or flowcharts, etc. Periodically complete one of these sample tests that you have made for yourself. If you added multiple questions for each concept, you could make yourself several tests at a time. This way, you can do this exercise repeatedly off of a single read through of your notes. This increases the efficiency of each read through exponentially. One great thing about this exercise is that you can do it ahead of time and save it for when you're ready to study for the exam. Adding it into your study routine would only cost a slight increase in daily time. Then, when midterms and finals roll around, you will already have ready-made practice exams without needing to search or scramble. Trading exams with your friends is also a great way to anticipate different types of questions that might be asked. Suggest trading practice quizzes if you have a study group or a group of friends in your class. Make sure to set out the parameters of your expectations so that you get various question types, though. Add a task to your study tracker to make these practice quizzes. Additionally, insert several opportunities to take the quizzes as well. Since you can make a few at a time, you can quiz yourself often. Correcting practice problems and exam questions is just as important as doing them. Both the testing and correcting of practice questions are vital. While doing the exam, assess your retention and recall of knowledge. Marking and correcting the exam lets you see exactly what information you do not understand. While you may believe that you understand all of the concepts clearly, sometimes there is nuance in answers or further elaboration that would make more sense. Correcting your practice test is when you will be the most receptive to amending this information. Insert time in your study task list to correct practice problems and exams. This can be done multiple times or just once, depending on how much time you have to study. Once you make a study guide, you have to make a commitment to stick with it. It's wonderful that you took the time to make this plan, but if you don't follow it, it's just wasted time. Use your planner to set realistic goals and stick to them for the best results. Make a schedule. Create time in your weekly schedule to study. Set aside time at the beginning of the week so that you're not scrambling to find it. If you don't plan to study, you probably won't. Use your planner to block off all the time you need to spend on your obligations, including studying, and follow this schedule as much as possible to manage your time effectively. Use the Pomodoro planners to outline structure each of your study sessions. Once you have blocked your study time, print off the Pomodoro Planner template guides in the study guide workbook. Each template holds about 2 hours worth of study time, so you're going to need several. In each block, add your study topic and the study activities you plan to do. There is also space to fill in any notes or supplies that you're going to need. Complete this for each week ahead of time. That way, you're not sitting down, wasting time trying to decide what to do. You can get straight to work. Track your progress on tricky subjects with the confidence tracker. As you study, you will be covering many topics and have varying levels of confidence. It will be easy to forget which concepts you are struggling with. As you progress through your activities, update any uncertain topics in the concept tracker template. This way you can double back around and spend extra time more efficiently reviewing those items more often. Okay, let's talk about 5 quick tips for studying for any exam. First, start studying early. Try to give yourself at least 3 weeks to prepare. You can start even earlier than that if you're detailed enough. Try to give yourself about 3 weeks to prepare. You can start even earlier if you have a detailed enough syllabus and exam outline. Second, write plenty of practice tests. If the professor doesn't give you one, make your own. Practice tests are the best way to study for tests. 3, don't sacrifice your sleep leading up to the exam. Make sure you are well rested. Nothing can replace sleep. 4, review how you did on the past tests and read the comments. Make sure you're correcting any of the wrong answers. 5, make sure you are covering all topics during your study session. Cross-referencing with your notes and your syllabus to make sure that no concept gets overlooked. My least favorite part of getting great marks is the time it takes to study for them. Using different combinations of study activities is the most fun you will ever have grinding. Take time to make a study guide tailored to your specific strengths. And by focusing your efforts on strategies that will work for you, you will increase your efficiency with each study session. Okay, guides, templates, all below. That's all I have for you today. If you have an exam coming up, let me know in the comments. What is it for? How are you going to prepare for it? What is your favorite study activity, whether or not it's good for study exams? I want to know. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. We have new videos helping you with study tips, organizational hacks, homework help, time management every single week. I will see you in the next one. Until then, I hope you have an amazing adventure.